Today, Meghan Markle has put shocking new claims about her marriage to Prince Harry to one side.
It all started like any normal morning at Heathrow's exclusive VIP terminal. You know, the one where everything smells like expensive coffee and quiet power, private check-ins, calm escorts, that low hum of engines idling on the tarmac. But by noon, that calm would explode into the most talked-about viral clip of the year. According to multiple airport staff who later spoke under anonymity, Meghan Markle, yes, the Duchess herself, arrived at Terminal 5's restricted customs wing just after 7:40 a.m., ready to board a transatlantic flight to Los Angeles. Everything looked smooth. She was in oversized sunglasses, dragging a cream-colored carry-on, two aides flanking her like always. At first, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Meghan smiled at the officers, handed over her passport, and glided toward the metal detector like any other high-profile traveler. But somewhere, right between the luggage scan and the secondary screening, something changed. One of the agents politely asked her to place her electronics, 2 phones and a tablet, in a separate tray. Totally standard protocol, even for diplomats. But witnesses say Meghan hesitated. She said something quiet, couldn't be heard on the video, then slowly slid one device forward. When the officer gestured for the second one, she stopped cold. And that's when everything began to unravel.
Go out in Los Angeles with her influencer buddy Emma Grede. Oh God.
A second camera caught the moment that would later set the internet on fire. Meghan stepped closer to the counter, her face tightening, her lips moving fast as she pointed at the tray. The CCTV audio was fuzzy, but nearby travelers told investigators they heard raised voices. Meghan allegedly saying, "You can't just take that," and an officer replying firmly, "Ma'am, it's policy." Seconds later, a supervisor approached. The exchange lasted maybe 90 seconds. Meghan crossed her arms, shook her head, then turned away, visibly frustrated. The supervisor motioned toward the side corridor, standard procedure for private rescreenings. But she didn't budge. Instead, she said something short, sharp, and final. And then, according to both enhanced audio and eyewitness reports, came the line that would echo across the world. "Do you know who I am?" That one sentence changed everything. The phrase just hung in the air. Staff froze. One officer later said it felt like an ice-cold moment. Immediately, VIP departures were halted. 15 minutes later, Meghan was escorted, calmly but very firmly, into the private inspection suite known as Room 9, a sterile chamber reserved for the most delicate cases. By 10:20 a.m., the footage had been quietly flagged to Airport Command for review, and by that afternoon, little snippets of it had already begun circulating in closed WhatsApp groups among airline employees.
Totally cringe, actually. I mean, People magazine reported on it breathlessly. Meghan Markle attends.
Simply labeled the Duchess incident. But nobody yet realized that someone inside that command office was about to leak the entire compilation, audio-synced camera angles and all, to a European tabloid. And what that recording revealed, oh, it wasn't just a heated argument, it was something far bigger. Because according to the leaked transcript, what Meghan said in Room 9 wasn't just defiance, it was a warning. The leaked Room 9 recording starts with this eerie metallic hum, the air vent buzzing, then the scrape of a chair. You can hear a man's low, calm voice, believed to be the senior customs officer. "This won't take long, ma'am. We just need to rescan the second device." Meghan's voice is steady at first. "You can check the case, not the drive." The officer insists. Every item entering the sterile zone must be cleared. Then her tone changes. Cold, sharp. "That's not your jurisdiction," she snaps. "That phone holds privileged correspondence. You scan it, it becomes an international issue." The officer hesitates, you can almost hear his confusion, and mutters something about equal procedure. Then a knock on the door, a zipper, and the sound of someone else entering. This time, it's a woman, likely from the diplomatic liaison desk. "Duchess Markle," she begins gently. Meghan cuts in fast. "Careful with titles." The liaison continues. "If we can cooperate, this will be over in minutes." And that's when Meghan exhales, almost shaking. "Cooperate?" she repeats bitterly. "I've done nothing but cooperate for 5 years while every stranger with a badge thinks they can handle my private data." She leans closer to the mic. You can see it clearly on the CCTV, and whispers, "If you run that scan, every one of you will regret it." Those 8 words would soon ignite the internet. Technicians in the control room tagged the footage as a VIP anomaly, meaning top priority review. Normally, that kind of footage stays sealed forever, but one supervisor, later suspended, copied it onto a flash drive and leaked it to Le West Parisien, a mid-tier European outlet known for celebrity exposés. They edited it, added subtitles, boosted the audio, and uploaded it under a headline that oozed with scandal scandal. Meghan's airport threat. Every one of you will regret it. Within hours, the story was everywhere. TikTok, X, YouTube, 12 million views before Heathrow could even issue a takedown. The palace stayed silent. The airline called it an isolated misunderstanding. But behind closed doors, chaos. That single discovery changed the classification to sensitive state-linked incident. And just like that, it wasn't a PR problem anymore. It was a national security emergency. What came next? Pure chaos behind polished doors. Because once the Home Office got involved, the entire case was locked down tighter than a royal vault. Everything from that day, footage, access logs, every keystroke, sealed under Section 73 protocol. That's the same procedure used when diplomatic devices cross into national law territory. Basically, the British government just took over Meghan's entire case. But the harder they tried to contain it, the faster it slipped away. Because somebody, a whistleblower inside the cyber division, leaked snippets of the internal report to Sky News. And what those leaks revealed shocked everyone. One of Meghan's confiscated phones was communicating with an unregistered satellite relay over the Atlantic. Codename Echo 7. If that sounds familiar, it should. That was the same signature that appeared in the Blue Room files months earlier. The scandal that haunted her long after her royal exit. That's when the internet detonated. Hashtags like hashtag Psyche Echo 17 returns and hashtag Room 9 files exploded. Some said she was smuggling evidence. Others whispered she was being protected by foreign agents. Meanwhile, in Montecito, her team broke their silence. Sort of. A short statement appeared. The Duchess complied fully with all airport procedures. Any suggestion of misconduct is false and defamatory. No denial of the footage. No mention of the devices. But at the very bottom, in tiny italic print, one haunting line. Security feeds tell stories. Context tells the truth, and that was all it took to reignite the fire. Because if context told the truth, then what about the full Room 9 audio still sealed by the government? Rumor had it that it existed, time-stamped, cataloged, and labeled Echo 17 Duchess Transmission Segment 2. But there was a problem. Segment 1, the beginning of the recording, had been deleted. The missing Segment 1 became the obsession of every newsroom, conspiracy channel, and late-night podcast. What was on it? Who deleted it? Who even had the power to erase an official government file? Then, one morning, The Guardian received an anonymous envelope. Inside was a handwritten note and a small USB. The note read, Segment 1 wasn't lost. It was overwritten. Attached were 5 grainy still frames allegedly pulled from the missing footage. Each image timestamped 7:57 a.m. Minutes before Meghan's confrontation began. Frame 1, Meghan standing at the security counter, phone in hand. Frame 2, a man in a gray suit walking into frame. Frame 3, Meghan showing him her screen. Frame 4, the man turning toward the camera. Frame 5, static. But when investigators enhanced that last frame, their jaws dropped. The man's face was 94% matched to Nathan Lyle, the same missing strategist tied to the Blue Room and the Geneva leaks. Within hours, hashtag Lylegate was trending worldwide. If true, it meant Meghan hadn't been alone that morning. The same operative once linked to the royal surveillance scandal was right there beside her at Heathrow. British intelligence denied it immediately, but independent tracking showed that a private jet, registered to the same Swiss charter firm Lyle once used, departed Heathrow less than an hour later bound for Geneva. Coincidence? Please, not in this story. Behind the scenes, forensic teams at the Home Office started piecing Segment 1 back together from fragments hidden deep in the airport's backup servers. One analyst described it as the closest thing to a ghost file I've ever seen. The recovered audio lasted just 14 seconds, barely anything. But it was enough. 2 voices, male. You don't understand who's listening. Female. Then tell them I'm done being silent. Then, static. When that tiny fragment leaked online, the internet lost its mind. Commentators claimed it proved Meghan and Lyle were coordinating a handoff, maybe the Echo 17 data itself. Suddenly, her airport confrontation didn't look like a diva meltdown at all. It looked like a desperate move to stop a breach in real time. Even palace insiders started to panic. A leaked memo from a royal aide read, "If confirmation arises that Lyle was present at Heathrow, we are dealing not with gossip, but with a continuity event." A continuity event. Code for anything that could destabilize the monarchy's internal security. Meanwhile, social media turned Room 9 into legend. People started painting murals of it, posting memes saying "do not erase" and "the gate that saw everything." But the real shocker came later that evening. Heathrow's head of security resigned. His public statement was chilling. "There are recordings we never made and footage we never saw. Yet somehow they exist." That single line broke the internet again, because just hours later, a dark web forum known for whistleblower dumps posted an encrypted message. 2 words only. Segment 1 restored. At 2:11 a.m. London time, a 2-minute, 37-second video appeared on decentralized servers. The title? Room 9, Segment 1, Uncut. It spread instantly. Reddit, Telegram, Discord. before authorities could even blink. The footage opened with the ceiling camera view. You could see the Room 9 sign glowing as Meghan walked in. Long cream coat, sunglasses, calm as ever. Behind her, a tall man in a gray suit, the same figure from the stills, carried a slim black case. The officer spoke first. "Ma'am, you'll need to declare any electronic devices before secondary screening." Meghan replied coolly, "We'll handle that privately." The gray-suited man placed the case on the table, slid a passport toward the officer. The camera zoomed in, the name blurred, but you could see a crest embossed in gold before he covered it with his hand. Then Meghan leaned forward and said the words that would dominate global headlines. "What's on that drive isn't mine. It's proof." There was a pause, the faint sound of paper rustling, a cough somewhere off camera. Then, static. When the image returned, you could hear a male voice saying, "You can't protect everyone, Meg." And her voice, steady, cutting through the noise. "Then they'll leak it with context." Then, right before the camera cut, she looked straight into the lens and whispered 3 words that would haunt the world: "Turn the camera off." That single command hit the internet like thunder. Within hours, it was everywhere. Memes, t-shirts, TikToks, protests outside Heathrow with red-painted signs saying, "Turn the camera off." But inside the British government, panic. At 8 a.m., the Home Office confirmed the footage was real, but illegally released. By noon, an emergency call was made to GCHQ's Cyber Division. Meeting notes later leaked, reading, "Segment 1 indicates coordinated presence of unidentified male with diplomatic credentials. Objective unclear. Silent retrieval of Markle devices recommended, but the silence didn't last." By the next morning, American news shows were all over it. Fox ran it as royal rage at airport staff. CNN called it a security crisis for the crown. TikTok turned it into theater. Edits, parodies, remixes, all looping "Turn the camera off." But the real story wasn't entertainment, it was control. Because soon after, analysts discovered that the upload source of Segment 1 traced back to the same whistleblower collective that leaked the Blue Room archives, a group called Vox Mirror. And when Vox Mirror finally broke their silence, they posted just one message: Segment 2, context incoming. The world had no idea that within hours, the second leak, the one that would destroy every version of the story, was about to drop.